each of those audiences want completely different content. This is probably the most important part. Growth is not random. Hey guys, it's Brie. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today we're talking about growing a social media account. So if I had to grow a brand new social media account from 0 followers, like literally nobody knows who I am, no audience, nothing, this is exactly what I do. And I'm not gonna make this overly complicated or sounding like it's coming out of a textbook or anything. I'm gonna explain this in a way that actually makes sense and in a way that you can actually follow. Okay, so I feel like starting from 0 is one of the most frustrating things ever when it comes to social media, whether it's for a brand or personal accounts, because you're posting, but it genuinely feels like you are posting into a void. Nobody's liking your stuff, nobody's commenting, and you're just like, is this even working? And I've definitely experienced this before, especially with new accounts and experimenting with new types of content. But after learning more about social media strategy and just posting consistently on my own accounts, I realized that growth is not random. It might look random from the outside, but there really is a structure to it. So I'm gonna break down exactly how I would grow a social media account from 0, step by step, in a way that actually aligns with how social media works today. So the first thing I would do before posting anything is just get a clear understanding of what your account actually is. And I feel like this is where a lot of people mess up, because they just start posting random content and wonder why nobody follows them. So I would ask myself 3 main questions. What is this account about? Who is this account for? And why should someone follow it? Because if you don't have those answers, your content is going to feel all over the place, and people will not follow accounts that confuse them. So this video is actually for a class project of mine, and this actually connects directly with what I've been learning about target audience in my class. You need to know who your target audience is before you can create content that resonates with them. For example, if I were starting a fitness account, I would need to decide, am I targeting beginners, people trying to lose weight, or people who are already into fitness? Because each of those audiences want completely different content. So step 1 is basically clarity, because without that, nothing else is going to work. Step 2, once I have clarity, the next step is creating a content strategy. And this is another area where people tend to go wrong, because they just post whatever they feel like that day and just hope that something goes viral. But instead, I would be very intentional about the type of content I'm making. I would focus on 3 main categories: content that entertains, content that provides value, and content that encourages interaction. So entertaining content could be something relatable or funny. Value-based content could be tips, advice, or something educational. And engaging content is anything that gets someone to comment, share, or save. Because at the end of the day, social media pushes content that people interact with. So if your content is not getting engagement, it's not gonna grow. I would also make sure that every post has a purpose. Like, I wouldn't just post to post. I would think, is this helping me grow? Is this connecting with my audience? Is this actually worth posting? Because being intentional makes a huge difference. Step 3. The next step is consistency. And honestly, this is probably the most important part, because you genuinely cannot grow if you are only posting once in a while. That just doesn't work. You need to start posting consistently so that you can start gathering data. And at the beginning, you don't have any data yet. So you need volume. You need to test different types of content, different ideas, different styles, because you don't know what's going to work until you actually try it. This is something that I've personally learned too. Like, you might think a video is going to do really well and then it just doesn't. And then something you didn't expect does way better. So consistency is what allows you to figure that out. Without it, you are basically just guessing. Step 4. Another huge thing I would focus on is optimizing for engagement, because social media growth is not just about getting views. It's about getting people to actually interact with your content. So I would focus on things like strong hooks at the beginning of videos, relatable topics, and clear and easy to understand messaging, because people decide within the first few seconds if they are going to keep watching your video. So if you do not grab their attention within the first 3 seconds, they are just going to scroll away. I would also think about how to get people involved, like asking questions, making content that people relate to, or saying things that make people want to respond, because engagement tells the algorithm that your content is worth pushing, and that's how you grow. Step 5. Once I start posting consistently, the next step is analyzing what is working. And this is where strategy really comes in, because instead of just guessing, you can actually take a look at the content and see patterns. accounts. Like which posts are getting the most engagement, which ones people are ignoring, and what the differences are. And then you adjust based on that. So if a certain type of video is performing better, make more of that. If something isn't working, you either improve it or stop doing it. Because growth is not just about being perfect. It is about learning and adapting. And I'm telling you, that makes the biggest difference over time. And I also think it's really important to be realistic about this. Growing a social media account from zero does not happen overnight. It takes time, consistency, and a lot of trial and error. And a lot of people underestimate that. But if you actually follow a strategy instead of just posting randomly, you are putting yourself in a much better position to grow. So if I had to grow a social media account from 0 followers, I would focus more on clarity, content strategy, consistency, engagement, and analyzing results. I'm telling you, those are the things that actually drive growth. It's not luck, it's not going viral once, but you need to have a system. And once you understand that process, starting over does not feel as overwhelming. It just becomes something that you can actually figure out. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
But when you find out